my Patriots were robbed. And Bill Belichick, the best coach in pro football, was right to complain about this after the game, because the spirit of the new interpretation of that rule is to eliminate the running start push from the second level. And as Bill said after the game, we did not push from the second level. I'm talking about somebody lining up in sort of a linebacker or safety position and getting a running start to shove a down lineman into an offensive lineman. That could be dangerous for the offensive lineman, unfair for the offensive lineman. I get that part. This was one Patriot down lineman lining up right next to another Patriot down lineman, and at the snap, ducking behind him. At first, I thought he was just trying to stunt behind him, just loop behind him to get free. But if he did give him some kind of push, I ask you, was that advantageous? Was that a running push? Was there any leverage to that push? None whatsoever. That should have been a non-call. That should have been inconsequential to the outcome of the game. And instead, a referee immediately overthrew a flag and decided the football game. Because I remind you also, if you don't throw that flag, Tom Brady, who was having an off day, would have had the ball all the way out at the 46-yard line. I would have liked my chances there at the 46 with Tom Brady, even having an off day. Instead, this is a 15-yard penalty. 15 yards, and all of a sudden, Folk goes from a 56-yard career-tying long field goal that he missed to a 41-yard field goal. It's game over to me because he is clutch. He is a dead-eye kicker. I trust Folk, not from 56, but from 41. So they run a couple plays, lose a yard, actually, and then it's ball game. So in the end, to me, you cannot throw that flag to decide that game at that moment, and it was the first time this has been thrown under the new rules. Thank you very much. Robbery.
Geno Smith played a better game than Tom Brady.
I'll buy that. I will give you that.
The Jets had a better running attack than the New England Patriots.
They piled up some yards.
There was a pick six that occurred courtesy of Antonio Allen versus Tom Brady.
Geno had one too.
That brought the New York Jets back into the game. Okay, after being down 21-10 at halftime. I was there. I was at the game.
I actually watched.
Having said all of that, Skip Bayless, I got news for you. Another surprise for you. Not just on Fridays.
I know where you're going.
Days. I agree with you.
They were robbed.
The Jets,
the Jets stole it.
I literally, I sat back as a guy that picked the Jets, as a guy who works for the flagship station for the New York Jets, ESPN New York, 98.7 FM in New York. I got to tell you, I was disgusted by the way they won that game. I thought it was grotesquely unfair. Now, you broke down, you know, just schematically, what the rule, the spirit of the interpretation of the rule, the spirit in which it was implemented, etc. And I completely agree with you. But I'll take it a step further, Skip Bayless. When you are trying to block a field goal, particularly with the game on the line, there are always bodies, not just behind people, on top of people. I mean, you got guys being pushed up for crying out loud. Anything to try to get a hand up. The game is on the line. It's a field goal here that we're talking about, a game-winning field goal. And so when we talk about the spirit, what about the spirit of the moment? What about the fact that in that particular moment with the game on the line, you know, I'm listening to somebody on radio last night. I forget his name, but it was on Mad Dog Radio. I was just listening, driving in last night, and I say to myself, you know what? Wait a minute here, because something needs to be pointed out, and the gentleman pointed it out accurately. He says if it's the last 15, 30 seconds of a game, you know, an important game, the outcome on the line, do you call 3 seconds in basketball? You usually don't. You know, there are a lot of times where we talk about the letter of the law, even when it's justified by a referee / an official. You understand the totality of the moment. There's just certain things you don't call because that could determine the outcome of the game, and that's really giving it to the officials as opposed to the players. That's what I saw last night. You know, you have Rex Ryan basically put the team in jeopardy because, excuse me, 56-yard field goal. If you miss it, Tom Brady has the ball on his own 46. What does he need? 30 yards max just to get a winning field goal? I like my chances with Tom Brady in that situation as well, off game or not. Same principle applies. And so, to give folk, to put him in a position where it's a 15-yard penalty, even though I was right in my prediction, I was really disgusted that it went down that way. It ruined the moment. I understand that Jet fans, are very, very happy about it. But it just shows how pathetic some of them are. Because in the end, that's right, I said it. Because in the end, what happens is that when you're that happy, you're like, I'll take a win any way I can get it. Right? Any way I can get it. That just shows how moribund your franchise has been all of this time. When I don't blame the Jets for being happy because they were out on the football field playing and they put themselves in position. But when I think of a fan base looking at this as if it was a legitimate victory, there's no way that you can look at that game yesterday and feel like the Jets did not get over.